Hello there, and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Ungainly Titan. We're here on Westfield, Standard Battle, and I'm in the IS-6 Tier 8 Russian Premium Heavy Tank. And I've stated my intention to head up to the northwestern corner to the high ground on the hillsides there, even though the system has deployed me on the opposite side of the valley. So it's going to be a bit of a long drive. Now I'm going to speed up this part of the video because the drive up to where the combat occurs it takes quite a while. Generally battles on Westfield actually take quite a while to start, and nothing particularly weird or unusual. Well, I suppose the unusual thing is actually we have quite a few tanks coming up onto the northwestern side of the map, which is kind of unusual for this spawn and for Westfield in recent times. Should also be noticed that the matchmaking is very heavy tank. Heavy. Our side particularly have only 2 medium tanks, and everything else is heavy tanks and tank destroyers. So there's a considerable force of heavy tanks accompanying the tank destroyers down on the eastern side of the map. Probably would have been better off bringing those heavy tanks up here. However, I'm going to spoil the thing by saying that we lose this game, despite more or less doing the right thing. We've brought a pretty substantial force up to this side of the map. Now we have 2 guys hanging around A0 who are doing no good to anybody, and the enemy do help things by this Cromwell and the ISU-152 both mostly coming out and sitting still. The Cromwell just shouldn't stop. I mean, if you're in a Cromwell and you're in the early start stage of a game and you're coming out like that in the midst of the enemy tanks, the last thing you do is stop moving. Now there's a considerable force of enemy tanks up here with us, at least as many as we've got, possibly even more. It's very hard to be quite sure, but they definitely have as many as we do. Both sides have lost a few tanks at this stage, but there are more enemy tanks kind of arriving, it seems to me, and they're starting to envelop our position as well. We don't quite have enough support behind us. A tank destroyer has just arrived at the edge of the map, so we could do with a few more tanks at the edge of the map actually, so as to stop these guys from enveloping along the southern side of the hill, or the eastern side of the hill there, and coming around behind us. At this point I decided that I was going to pressure the T-69. I reckon he's the rearmost enemy tank. If I get back onto him, I can take him out and we can get around from behind onto the other tanks, and hopefully create some kind of a crossfire. Another enemy heavy tank has managed to appear at the bottom of the viaduct, and he managed to arrive down there completely undetected, which suggests to me that none of the tanks that we have down on the eastern side actually have much in the line of view range, either through lack of crew skills or they're the particular flavour of tanks that just don't have great view range even for the tank destroyers. So we finish off the T-69, but the team has melted around me. It's been more or less a complete collapse. The IS-6 has pulled back before I managed to get a reload, but he was taken out by the tank destroyer, and the T-43 has popped up, and I'm well late with my return shot. But rather than sitting here on the slope, I'm going to come down the other side where I'm doing the reload, get the cover of the ground between us, and then come around the back, so that I have a good chance of being able to face off the T-43 without interference from his comrades. Now we're 3 tanks down, and there was only 6 of the enemy tanks visible on the minimap. So the remaining 3 are probably crossing the valley floor, or they're sitting down there on the the eastern side of the of this part of the map, somewhere between the village and the viaduct, and putting shots into our tanks across on the eastern side of the map, beyond the view range of those tanks, so that they aren't able to shoot back. They don't have any target to shoot back at. And I think at the very end of the game, when we look at the final scores, this is kind of borne out that we as a team, have just done very little damage in comparison to the enemy team. So I'm engaged here with the T-150, and there's somebody in the cap circle. Now, I managed to finish off the T-150, not quite with that shot, but he's not being very effective against me. I don't think he knows exactly where to shoot an IS. And I finished him off. Now, I'm at the western side of the map. The cap circle is practically on the eastern side of the map. And it's very unlikely that I'll make it. The other thing that's kind of surprising at this stage is that given that there are so many enemy tanks remaining, that there are no enemy tanks popping up around me. I actually suspect that when that T-150 was engaged with me, that he was actually out of radio range with the rest of his team, and the team actually don't know where I am. When the T-150 started engaging me, there was still surviving tanks on the eastern side of the map, and the rest of the enemy team, except for the guy in the cap circle, were engaged with those tanks. So now there's two guys in the cap circle, and several more tanks floating around, but they aren't anywhere near where I am. And I'm not going to make it to the cap circle in time. If you look at the final score, you see that I did pretty well. I did nearly 3k damage, blocked nearly 2.5k damage, 4 destroyed, and came top of the table by experience. I also came top of the table by damage, and there was only 2 others that did similar amounts of damage. The rest of our team did less than 900 points of damage, and 4 of them did no damage at all. Whereas if you contrast that with the enemy team, almost everybody did some damage, and 7 of them did over 1,000 points of damage. So I think one of the problems there is that our team, quite a few of them were in position probably where they just couldn't see the enemy, and they were being shot at from outside their view range. Can't be sure of that though, because this is a video capture rather than a replay, and I can't go around and look at the individual tanks from their point of view. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you again soon.